Hey guys, welcome back again to Rebuild Reality, and today we are talking about health. And this is something I know a lot about because I have spent the mass majority of my life in physical pain, going through big physical things, mental, emotional things, like so many others out there. But I think that most people know by now who've been watching this channel that I used to be addicted to drugs. And at that time, I went through a phenomenal amount of pain for years and years and years. I mean, life-threatening pain. In fact, that was when I died and had my near-death experience. That's the kind of level of pain that I was dealing with. So I know a lot about that and about where that comes from. And it can come from various places, various things that are happening in our lives and stuff. But probably the main place that this is really coming from is resistance. Resistance to what's been happening. Resistance to what's going on right now. And if you look back in your life, I think for most people, you are gonna find that you've been going through stress. You've been going through difficulties probably for years now. And you get into this place of dis-ease. You've not been at ease for a long time, and that of course expresses itself eventually in disease and illness and all these issues going on, because when we are mentally and emotionally having difficulties, we start shutting down. We just start like, I'm shutting this down, that hurts, that hurts, that hurts, and we start going into this little fortress that we make for ourselves. And when you mentally and emotionally start shutting down, that is a signal to your physical body, we're shutting down. We are shutting down. And the body's like, all right, chief, following directions. So your body starts to shut down. And in life, well, of course, 3D is difficult because we don't understand it. Because the 3D mind doesn't know what the hell is going on here. Doesn't know how to get things done. Doesn't really know how things work. And it's always in a state of fear, a state of separation. So a lot of times we don't want to do 3D. We don't want to do this world. We don't like the way things are going, and we don't know how to change them. We don't know how to control them. We're trying to do it all the time, but the mind's telling you to do things in a way that is really backwards from the way you should be doing things. So we start shutting down. We start not wanting to do 3D, and one of the ways out of it, in fact, really one of the most popular ways out of doing all the things that we don't want to do, is by getting sick. Because socially, it is the only really socially acceptable way of getting out of doing 3D, of getting out of whatever situations we may be in. And one example of this is, I used to know a girl who ran a cafe, and we actually worked together and stuff. And she had like two parents, right? Well, as most people do, but both of her parents were psychiatrists. So they treated her that way growing up, where it was like, okay. When she's like, I don't want you to, give me a psychological readout of me and my behavior. I just want you to hold me. I just want you to love me. I just want you to nurture me. I just want you to freaking approve of me, right? And she told me, she's like, they've never said, like, we're proud of you or anything like that. So she was always trying to get their approval. So one of the things that she got into was cooking, because it pleased everybody. So she ended up becoming actually a cordon bleu chef. And she eventually opened this cafe. But she wanted everything to be the best. To be the best of the best of the best. Well, when you're working in a fast-moving cafe, things can't all be cordon bleu, quality. You can't have all these different recipes that all have different ingredients and stuff. You can't do that. But she was trying to not only get approval of her parents, the approval of everybody, to show how worthy she was and how worthy of acceptance and praise, and finally feeling like, that she was good enough in life. So, well, of course, she just wiped herself out completely, couldn't keep up with it, you know? And I watched her while this was happening, and she's like, I can't stop. She's like, I can't give up. I've invested so much into this. I've invested so much money, so much. My parents have given me money for this. Like, my life is staked on this cafe being a success. So she couldn't get out of it. So what did she do? She started to shut down. And like I said, I watched her do this. Literally, she was like, started to stiffen up and stiffen up and stiffen up. And she got to the point where one of her arms wouldn't work. And she was trying to like, do things with one of her arms like this and stuff. And tried to do everything with the other arm and throwing little bits of parsley on the plates and stuff. And I'm like, I'm watching this happen to you, you know? And that was the way that she eventually did get out of it, because, she got a disease, an autoimmune disease. And then she had a socially acceptable excuse to get out of what she was doing. And a lot of people end up doing this because they don't know how to get out of the 3D world or the situations they're in, or dealing with other people's disapproval and stuff. So that's a big way that this stuff happens. Another way, and this is one of the things that happened to me, was as a child, I noticed that when I was sick, I got attention. I got taken out to lunch. I got to stay home from school. I got my mom like one-on-one with me for the whole day. And I was like, this is pretty freaking good, you know, this sick stuff. Because I remember one time she like put a thermometer in my mouth and then she like went away, and I was lying in bed under the covers, and I was, I don't know, maybe I was 6 or something like that, and I put my feet out from under the covers because I thought, if my feet get cold, then I'll get sicker, and then it'll make it so the thermometer will show that I'm sick, right? So I'm working it as a little kid, because to me it's a way to get out of going to school, get out of going to the 3D. Something else that people do is they take on their parents' resistance. Their parents are in a state of illness resistance, and that happened to me as well. My mom was always like, she was always in pain, always in physical pain. My shoulder and my neck. What happened to me when I got older? My shoulder and my neck. It became like a huge problem for me. So there's different ways, but they all kind of boil down to resistance, not wanting to go to school, not wanting to go to work, not wanting to do this or that. And sometimes we're trying to tell people how hurt we are, how much we need their love and their nurturing and their care. You know, we are in this state of desire, of needing other people to give us the attention and the care that we need. Well, a lot of times if we say it, we're saying it, we're saying it, we're saying it, you know, and people aren't like, yeah, just get on with it. Yeah, we just got to do what we got to do. You know, shut up and get on with it. Stiff upper lip, all that crud. Well, if we aren't getting our message across verbally and the things that we're doing, well, we show it. We show how hurt we are. We show how damaged we feel. We show how traumatized we are. So these are ways of expression of getting what we want, right? So copying others. Copying others is something else. Like I said, I copied my mom, but it can just be copying other, all kinds of other people and stuff. It can be what we are told. Oh, you've got that wrong with you. Oh, yeah, you can't do this. You have a heart murmur. You can't run around. We're being told this stuff as kids, as children. Oh, you always get sick, so you need to wrap up. You have sinus problems. You have ear problems. You have whatever it is problems. So many people are told this as children, so they grow up believing it. They grow up with literally that identity. Oh, that's me. I'm the one with sinus problems. I'm the one who always gets an earache. I'm the one who always, has to worry about my heart or whatever it is. So all of this resistance is going on, and it is a form of identity. People identify as that's me, right? But even in 3D, even in this 3D story, there, of course, I've spoken about it a number of times before, about age reversal, disease reversal. There is trials on right now for a new drug that regrows your teeth. There are trials for human blindness going on right now. There are trials for numerous physical ailments on the human level, because they've already done it on, you know, the animal level. And genetically, we're incredibly similar. So it's just one little step farther. And this is what's happening now. So it's happening. It's happening here in 3D. But it's not just with a drug. It's the understanding that we already come equipped with this. We don't have to invent a drug to reverse our disease, to reverse our illness, to reverse blindness, to regrow a new tooth, or whatever it is, to reverse your age. You don't need to wait for a pill to come out. You don't need to wait for someone else's approval to say, oh, this will work. Because what is all of that age and disease reversal based on? It's all based on epigenetics. And epigenetics is how your environment affects you. But the way science tends to look at it is like, oh, you have no choice, the way your environment affects you. Well, of course you have a choice. Of course you have a choice, because it's your response. You are responding to your environment. You are responding to other people. You are responding to what happens to you. And you have a choice on how you're going to respond, on how you're going to see things. So what I'm trying to say here on this level is that you've always had that technology within you to change everything in your physical body, to completely control how your genes express yourself. Even in it was one of the articles I found. There was an article in something called Science Daily that said, controlling gene expression with your thoughts. They did it. They already scientifically are like, oh, what do you know? That happens. Well, of course it happens. But it's always been happening. We've always been controlling our expression of our physical body with our thoughts. And that was an article from 2014, right? So even on a 3D level, we got to catch up, man. We got to freaking catch up. People have to catch up with all of this new technology, all of this new understanding, all of this new knowledge that is coming out on a physical 3D level, right? So everyone is like, oh no, I'm still in the old textbook of, well, you can kind of manage your disease by suppressing the symptoms. Like, no. This is the age of no more suffering, no more physical pain and suffering. But you've always had that ability within you. You're just finding that out now, that you have the technology, if you want to call it technology, to do this. Well, how do you do it? You do it with your thoughts. You can do this with your thoughts. I already put out, and I'm going to try and find that video, and I'm going to link it down below. I spoke about somebody who I think was actually back in 2013 or 2014. There was an article on this guy, and how he reversed his bladder cancer. And that's just one of a multitude of examples that are out there. And how did he do it? He did it with his mind, by picturing a perfect bladder for 2 weeks. He spent 2 weeks just picturing that perfect bladder, that he had a perfect bladder. Ta-da! Guess what? He went to the doctor to have his surgery. He was going to have it removed because, oh, it's cancerous, we're going to take it out. And they checked, and no cancer. None. This is the effect that you have. This is a technology in you to change who you are. to change any part of your physical body, to change your identity, to reverse disease, to reverse aging, to do all of it is there. And it's just like any other manifestation thing. You do it. You either declare it, that's me now, that's me. I'm not that anymore. You stop identifying with it. And I understand that on a physical level, when you're experiencing something that's right in your freaking face, because trust me, I know it. I freaking know it. I'm going through massive pain, massive withdrawals, where my body is like I am being hit with a cattle prod, like I am being literally electrocuted, where my body is going, and I can't stop it. I thought at the time, not realizing, that I can take a step back and observe that's the old personality. I'm not that person anymore. I see that it's still happening. I can step back and observe that it's happening, but I can say to myself, that was that person. That was that version. Out of all the versions of me, that was just that one. And now I am no longer choosing to identify as that version of me, as that person. And every time it comes up, and it's going to keep coming up, probably 2, 3, 4 weeks, I don't know, everybody's different. It depends on you and how much you believe in it, how persistent you are, how much you're not going to stop, that you're going to keep identifying as the person who doesn't have that problem anymore. How persistent are you going to be? That guy that did reversed his bladder cancer, he sat there for hours, for 2 weeks, every day. He sat there for a couple of hours just imagining that pure bladder, that perfect bladder. How much are you going to do it? With me, when I did things like this, just every time a thought came up, hey, you're that person. Hey, you're having this pain. Hey, you have that problem. Hey, remember this? I was like, no, that's not me. You got the wrong address. You got the wrong person. That's not me anymore. I recognize that that's happening, the old personality, as the old personality is dying out, because it's going to keep coming up. That's you. No, that's not me. That's you. No, that's not me. And one day, you're just going to wake up. And you're not going to have that issue anymore. You're not going to have that problem anymore. Because you have taken on a new identity. Right? And this is how it works. That we have that ability in us. Now, why? Why can we do that? Why is this even possible? Let's go up another level here, right? Why it's possible? Because you don't have a physical body. You don't have a physical body. All of this is an illusion. Your physical body is an illusion. Your physical body is your self-concept of yourself. It's what you think of yourself. It is the identity that you have taken on. And most people take that on, these identities of pain and suffering, because they want someone to come along and fix it. They want someone to come along and be like, I'll take care of you. I care about you. I love you. I value you, And it's like, people are like, well, finally, we stay in these states of resistance, these kind of passive states of resistance with dis-ease, because we want someone to come along and take care of us, someone to tell us that they care about us, someone to give a freaking damn about us. But if you wait, chances are you're going to be waiting forever. And the more you identify as that, the more deeper you're going to get into that identity. So it comes down to, do you want to stay that person and just wait for maybe someday someone will come along and rescue you? But even then, you'll be so deep in that identity that you won't even be able to get yourself out of it, because you'll identify so much with it. I mean, what do you want? You have no physical body. There is no real, true experience here. There's no reality but you. So all of this, when it boils down to, is a choice. What do you want? What life do you want to live? What life do you want to live? Because you can get yourself out of this. You can change this. You can re-identify yourself. You can identify as somebody else. And every time, like I said, that comes up, that your mind is like, and it's going to do it a lot throughout the day. Your mind is going to keep saying, you're this person, you're this person, you're this person. You can't eat that. You can't bend over. You have to do this. You can't do that. All these things, and you're still going to do them. Yeah, if you're like, yeah, I understand that, yeah, I still have to take that medication, that I still have a hard time getting out of bed, but you're recognizing it as the no longer chosen identification. I see that these things are happening. They're still happening, but I'm choosing to, every time that comes up, that, oh, you're this person with this problem, to now be like, no, I'm just going to stand firm, and no, that's not me. No, that's not me any longer. It's because that's the whole process of you shifting from one to the other. It will keep coming up. Yeah, you're that person. No, I'm not. Yeah, you're that person. No, I'm not. And like I said, it's going to take some time. But if you persist, it's going to happen. It is going to happen for you. So, as in all things, in 3D, who do you want to be? Do you want to be that person who's suffering for the rest of your life, waiting for someone to come and save you? Or do you want to freaking just enjoy your life for once? Do you want to spend all your time worrying and trying and all that side of things where you're trying to get better, you're trying to fix yourself, you're trying to change yourself, you're trying to make things happen? Or are you just going to be like, yeah, it's not me anymore. You know what? I'm just going to really enjoy myself. I'm just going to really focus on the positive. Because as consciousness, whatever you focus on, it's going to be coming your way. So stop focusing on the problem. Stop focusing on trying to fix the problem. Just let it be. Just be like, okay, I'm just not going to identify as that anymore. I'm going to know that I am this person now, that this is coming up for me, and I know that this is going to shift. I know that this is going to change. And how happy am I about that? Thinking about that. How about thinking about that? About the person that you want to be now. Thinking about your life as the person you want to be. Without those problems, without that issue. Spend all your time thinking about that. How grateful you are for that. How exciting it is for that. Live there. In where? The end. Because that is the end, isn't it? Where you would be living there if you had those things. That's what living in the end is all about. Because you're like, I'm not that person anymore now. I am this person where everything's going right. Everything is good. It's that shift. And your mind will want to keep shifting you back to, oh, we've got a problem here. You've got things that you need to do something about. No. I'm not that person anymore. I see that there's certain things, that I'm doing and whatever. That's just the old story playing out. But now, this is who I am, and it's amazing. You watch. And if you dedicate yourself to this, it is going to happen. Because this is just the way that it works. Because there's no physical thing here. No physical body, nothing going on. It's just where you're pointing your focus. Who are you identifying as? That's all that's going on here. So identify as who you want to be. Live in your wonderful story, not in your shit story, right? And move on. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one who can do this. No one else can do this for you. This is you. This is you about learning who you are, about accepting who you are and what you can do here. And this is your big wake-up call. Things like this are your big wake-up call for you to be like, all right, are you going to step on stage or are you not? Are you here for the junk? Or are you here to freaking thrive? To live your life with, yes, every day, enjoyment, open arms? Are you living your life with your arms closed? Or are you living with an open? Do it. Do it. What are you waiting for? Grab life by the and enjoy every freaking second of it. So I hope that that helps some of you out there. Like I said, I wanted to address this across different levels because people will recognize themselves, recognize what it is that you're doing to yourself, recognize that you have a way out of this if you choose it. And I know a lot of people are not going to choose it because a lot of people like to identify as that because they get something out of it. You would not be identifying as that, as something that where I need help, I need this, I need that, if you didn't think you were going to get something out of it. If you realize no one's going to come along to help you, chances are you'd give it up in a second. You'd be like, oh, okay. Anyway, so go ahead and review this if you need to. Think about it, decide, choose. Choice is yours, just like everything in life, right? So, like I said, I hope that it helps, and yeah. Thanks you guys for being with me here on Rebuild Reality. I got some interesting things come up, some interesting topics and stuff. So I look forward to going over that stuff with you guys, and let me know in the comment section below if there's anything that you want me to address that you haven't been seeing. And I know that health is a big thing that we don't see most people addressing out there. So if there's something else that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think of this video. If you want to do all that, like and share and blah blah blah. And I'm gonna see you guys here next time on Rebuild Reality.